how you doing? The thought that's been living rent-free in my head today is about glasses. Yes, glasses. Apparently even those have gotten smarter now. And before we start, I'm not against technology. Technology has made our lives easier in ways we probably don't even think about anymore. But sometimes technology changes faster than the rules we have for using it. And I found this out firsthand. I'm at work, I was in health and beauty, and one day when I noticed this lady walking around picking up different products and talking about them. I could see that she had an earpiece in, so I didn't think anything of it. I just figured she was talking to a friend. She looks at this product, talks about that product. I'm doing my job, she's doing her thing, no big deal. Then she gets my attention. She starts asking me about some of the new products we might be getting in. And I tell her honestly, I'm not really sure. Usually new things show up and we don't know it until the company lets us know what's coming in and what they want us to do with it and how they want us to merchandise it. Just a normal conversation between an employee and a customer. Or at least I thought it was. So about a week later, one of my associates comes up to me and says, "Hey Mark, you're TikTok famous." And that deer caught in headlights look on my face, I'm like, what? And they pull out their phone and show me the video, and there I am. That lady wasn't talking to somebody through an earpiece, she was recording with her glasses, and our entire conversation was now part of her TikTok. Now, here's the part that bothers me. She never told me she was recording, she never said she was making a video, and most importantly, she never asked me if I was okay being in it. And that's where today's hole starts getting pretty deep. Because these glasses aren't necessarily bad. For some people, they're incredibly useful. They can take pictures hands-free, give direction, answer questions, and then there are some pretty amazing abilities or accessibilities used for them. The technology itself isn't really the problem. The question is, what happens when the rest of us don't know you're using it? Because if somebody pulls out their phone and points it at me, I know there's a pretty good chance I'm being recorded. But if you're standing there looking at me through a pair of glasses, how am I supposed to know that you're recording me? And that brings us to the question we're digging into today. If technology makes it possible to record the people around us without them really knowing, do we have a responsibility to tell them? Maybe even more importantly, just because we can record everything, does that really mean we should be? So grab your coffee, grab your shovel, because apparently now we have to wonder if the shovel is being recorded too. Before we start throwing dirt on smart glasses, let's give them their fair shake, as we do on this channel. Because I'm going to admit something. They're actually pretty cool. And smart glasses aren't exactly brand new. We've been playing around with the idea of putting technology on our faces for years. But we're getting to the point where these things don't necessarily look like some giant computer strapped to your head. That would actually be pretty funny. Some of them just look like glasses. And that's kind of the point. You can listen to music, you can make phone calls, take pictures, record videos, ask questions, get information without consistently pulling your phone out of your pocket. And depending on the glasses and the features available, they can even use AI to help identify what you're looking at. Think about that for a second. You're standing somewhere looking at a building and wondering, what is that? Instead of pulling out your phone, opening an app, typing it in, you can just ask your glasses. And I think that's pretty cool. And there are accessibility uses here that I can think are even more important. For someone who is blind or who has low vision, having technology that can help describe what's around them read something in front of them or identify objects can be incredibly useful. That's not some stupid little gadget. That's technology actually helping somebody navigate the world. And even for everyday things, I can see the appeal. You're cooking and your hands are covered in whatever you're making. You don't have to grab your phone. You're working on something and want to take a picture. You don't have to stop what you're doing. You're on vacation, want to capture what you're seeing without spending the entire trip. We're looking at our phones, taking a picture of it, so later we can look at the picture of the thing we didn't look at because we were too busy taking the picture. We've gotten a little weird. So the idea that I can just look at something, take the picture, and keep enjoying the moment, I can see why people want these. And this is important because I don't think the answer to what happened to me is smart glasses are bad, get rid of them. That's too easy. The glasses didn't decide to record me. The glasses didn't upload me to TikTok. The glasses didn't decide whether I needed to know what was happening. A person did. And I think that's where we hit our first layer of dirt. Because the very thing that makes smart glasses so convenient is also the thing that makes them a little uncomfortable. They just look like glasses. With a phone, if somebody holds it up and points the camera towards you, you have a pretty good idea what's going on. But when somebody wearing glasses looks at you, people wearing glasses tend to do that. So maybe the problem isn't the technology. Maybe the problem is that we've created technology that has changed what people around us are capable of doing without changing the social rules for how we were supposed to use it. And that's where we need to dig a little deeper, because now that we know why somebody would want these glasses, we need to talk about what it's like for everybody standing on the other side of those glasses. So now we've talked about why somebody might want smart glasses, and like I said, I get it. I think they're great. But there's another person involved here, the person standing on the other side of that lens. And they might have absolutely no idea that lens is even there. That's what bothers me about what happened at work. It wasn't that the woman owned smart glasses. It wasn't even necessarily that she was making a TikTok. It was that she knew what was happening and I didn't. Had she walked up to me and said, "Hey, I'm making a TikTok about some of the new products I'm finding. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?" And honestly, it probably wouldn't have been an issue. I could have answered her questions, but I would have known the conversation was being recorded. And because I was at work, I could have been a little more careful about how I answered. Not because I said anything wrong. I didn't. I pretty much gave the standard, we don't know what's coming in until it gets here kind of thing, or until the company tells us what's coming in and how they want us to merchandise it. But there's a difference between casually answering a customer's question and answering a question that's potentially going to be heard by thousands of people online. I would have wanted to make sure I wasn't saying something that could hurt the company or accidentally making something sound like an official company statement when it wasn't. But even more important than that, I would have had a choice. I could have made an informed decision about how I wanted to participate, or even if I wanted to participate at all. Maybe I would have said, "Sure, ask away." Or maybe I would have said, "I'd rather not be in the video, but I'll be happy to help you find whatever it is that you're looking for." Either answer would have been fine, because it would have been my decision. And I think that's where smart glasses create a different problem than the cameras we've gotten used to. Yes, cameras are everywhere. There are probably a security camera watching me somewhere every time I walk into the store. Doorbell cameras recording people walking down the sidewalks. Dash cams recording cars going down the road. and almost everybody has a camera sitting in their pocket. So being recorded in 2026 isn't exactly some new concept, but most of those situations give us some kind of a clue that a camera exists. If somebody pulls out their phone, turns it sideways, points it at me, and starts talking, well, I'm probably not going to assume they're checking the weather. I know that because I will know there's a camera there. Smart glasses change that. You can be looking directly at me, having what I think is a normal conversation while you're recording the entire thing. And I might not find out until a week later when one of my associates walks up and tells me I'm TikTok famous. I still don't understand the TikTok famous thing, but nonetheless, there's a pretty big difference there. And let's take me out of it for a second. What about the server taking the order, the cashier ringing up the groceries, the person sitting at the table next to you, the employee having a bad day, the parents walking through a store with their kids? None of those people woke up that morning and said, you know what I'd really like to do today? Be background content for somebody else's social media. And yes, somebody is probably already saying, but Mark, you're out in public. You don't have an expectation that nobody is ever going to see or record you. And that's a fair point. And we're going to dig into that side too, because there absolutely is another side to this. But I think there's a difference between being seen in public and unknowingly becoming a participant in somebody else's content, especially when that person actually walks up and starts a conversation with you. Because at that point, I'm not just somebody who happens to walk through the background of your video. You're involving me in it. And if you're going to involve me, maybe the common courtesy is simply giving me the opportunity to decide whether I want to be involved. We're not talking about banning technology here. We're not talking about smashing every pair of smart glasses with our shovels. Although old Bob has already volunteered. Bob, put the damn shovel down. We're talking about something much simpler. Hey, I'm recording. Are you okay with that? 7 words. That's it. Maybe that's the first bit of common ground we've uncovered today. The more invisible our technology becomes, the more responsibility we may have to make our intentions visible. But now we've got to dig into the argument from the other direction, because somebody on the other side of this whole has a pretty reasonable question for us. If you're in public, how much privacy should you really expect? Now, let's walk over to the other side of this hole, because I can already hear somebody saying, Mark, you were in a store, you were out in public, people are going to see you, cameras are everywhere. What exactly did you expect? And you know what? That is a very fair argument, because the truth is we're recorded all the time. Walk into almost any store and there are security cameras. Walk up to somebody's house and there's a pretty good chance their doorbell is looking back at you, and a creepy. Drive down the road and somebody has a dash cam. Go to a concert, a sporting event, or a parade, and maybe even a tourist attraction, and there are hundreds, maybe thousands of phones in the air. You could end up in somebody's picture or video without ever knowing it. And realistically, we can't ask permission from every single person who happens to walk through the background of a video. Imagine trying to film the Grand Canyon. Everybody excuse me, before I hit record, I got a release form I'd like all 700 of you to sign. We're going to be here for a while. So yes, when we go out into the world, there's a reasonable understanding that somebody might take a picture or record a video, and we might end up in it. That's just the world we live in. And there's another side of recording that I don't want us to ignore. Sometimes having a recording is a very good thing. Let's say you're having a serious problem with the company. You've called them 3 times. You remember the 24-hour service, You've been told 3 different things. Now you're standing at customer service counter trying to get it fixed. Having a record of that conversation might protect you. Maybe later the company says our employee never told you that. Well, now we've got a recording showing exactly what was said. Or maybe somebody is being treated badly. Maybe a customer is being abusive towards the employee. Sometimes the camera is the reason we eventually find out what actually happens. We've all seen videos online where somebody says, "You won't believe what happened to me." And everybody immediately wants to see the video. I've been caught in that myself because without it, we're hearing one person's version of the story. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that recording people in public is automatically wrong. It's not. And I'm definitely not going to pretend cameras haven't sometimes held people accountable who probably would have preferred there wasn't a camera around. That's part of this conversation too. But here's where I start reaching for my shovel again. Because I think there's a difference between me appearing in your recording and you making me part of your recording. If you're filming the Grand Canyon and I walk behind you eating a hot dog, congratulations, you now have footage of me eating a hot dog. I'm probably going to survive that. But if you walk up to me, start asking me questions, and let me believe we're having a private, normal conversation while that conversation is being recorded for content, that's different. At least, I think it's different. Because now you're not simply documenting something happening around you. You're intentionally brought another person into what you're creating. And this is where the smart glasses make things complicated. Because if you're holding a phone in front of me, I can see the camera. I have information that helps me decide what's going on. With smart glasses, that information can disappear. And to be fair, the person wearing them, maybe recording with their glasses has become as normal to them as pulling out a phone to the rest of us. Maybe they genuinely don't think they're doing anything wrong, and that's why I don't think this conversation is as simple as recording people is bad. It isn't. The camera can protect you. The camera can protect me. The camera can document something important. And sometimes you're just trying to get a video of the Grand Canyon while some idiot with a hot dog walks through your shot. Sorry about that if that happened. But once we intentionally involve another person, I think we've crossed into something different. And that's the next layer we need to dig through. Because maybe the question isn't, do you have the right to record? Maybe the better question is, when does having the right to do something become different from doing the right thing? Before we go any deeper, there's something we need to clear up about a phrase we've been using, you're in public. Because if you're standing inside a retail store, well, yes and no. The store is open to the public, obviously, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're standing on public property. You're standing on private property that the owner has opened to customers. And that's an important difference. A lot of retailers have policies about photography and recording inside their stores. Those policies aren't all the same. One company may be perfectly fine with you taking pictures of products. Another may have restrictions on filming employees. Some businesses may require permission before somebody comes in specifically to create content. And there could also be different laws depending on where you live, what you're recording, and whether you're recording a conversation. Now, we're not digging through 50 different states' recording laws today. Bob didn't go to law school, and neither did my shovel. So if you're planning on recording somewhere, it's probably a pretty good idea to know the laws where you live and the policies of the place you're doing it. But for our conversation, there's something bigger I want to look at. Because when somebody walks into a store wearing smart glasses and starts recording, there may actually be three different interests involved. First, there's the person wearing the glasses. I bought these glasses, I'm making content, I'm documenting my day, I'm reviewing products, I'm recording my experience. Fair enough. Then there's the employee. I'm here doing my job, I may not want to be part of your content. Also, fair enough. But there's a third party we haven't really talked about yet. The business. That's their building. That's their merchandise. That's their employees, their customers. And their name may be sitting right there on the employee's shirt. So when somebody records an employee answering questions, the video could potentially make it look like the employee is speaking for the company. And that's where I go back to what happened to me. If that woman had simply told me, hey, I'm recording a TikTok, can I ask you a couple of questions? I probably would have answered her. But now I would have known the situation I was in. I could have made sure I wasn't accidentally giving information I wasn't supposed to give. I could have made sure I wasn't guessing about something and having that guess presented online as employee says. And again, I didn't say anything wrong to her. Nothing happened to me because of that video, but that's almost besides the point, because I didn't know I was being put into a situation where something could have happened. And there's another side to this too. A business shouldn't be able to hide behind you're not allowed to record in here every time something happens that makes them look bad. If an employee is mistreating somebody, if something is unsafe is happening, if somebody genuinely needs to document what's going on, I can understand why that person might reach for a camera. That's why this isn't a simple as private property, end of discussion. It isn't. There can be legitimate reasons for somebody to want a record of what happened. And depending on the situation and where you live, there are legal questions involved that we're simply not going to settle with a shovel and a cup of coffee. But let's say everything checks out. Let's say the law allows you to record. Let's say the business allows you to record in their business. Does that settle everything? I don't think it does. Because there's a difference between asking, am I allowed to do this? And asking, is this the right way to treat the person standing in front of me? Maybe you have every right to record me. Maybe you're completely within the rules. But if you're intentionally starting a conversation with me because you want that conversation to become part of your content, is it really asking too much to say, hey, just so you know, I'm recording? And let me decide what happens next. Because the more we've dug into this, the less I think the real issue is the camera. I think it's more choice. Your choice is to wear glasses. Your choice is to record. The company's choice to set rules on its property, and my choice about whether I want to participate. And that's where this hole gets even deeper. Because today we're talking about glasses. But technology isn't getting more obvious. It's actually getting smaller. Technology is getting smarter. And it's getting harder to see. So what happens when we reach that point where you walk into a room and you have absolutely no idea which pair of eyes has a camera behind them? There's one group of people we haven't talked about yet, and I think we need to, and that group is kids. Because it seems like every time we're talking about the internet these days, social media, technology, privacy, we're told we have to protect the children. I'm with you. But if we're going to say that, then we have to be willing to talk about it when the technology happens to be something we like too. Because imagine somebody walking through a store wearing smart glasses and recording their day. There's a mother shopping with her 6-year-old. There's a kid having a complete meltdown in the toy aisle. There's a teenager doing something stupid with their friends. There's a family sitting at the table next to you in a restaurant. And none of them may realize there's a camera pointing in their direction. Now, let's be fair. We can't possibly keep children out of every picture and every video ever taken in public. Go to Disneyland and take a picture in front of the castle. There's going to be somebody's kid in that picture. Go to a parade, a birthday party, a sporting event, maybe even take a stroll in the park. You're probably going to capture people in the background. And some of those people are going to be children. And I don't think everybody expects us to run around with permission slips every time we pull out our camera. But let's go back to the distinction we've been digging towards throughout the entire show. There's a difference between a child appearing in your video and making that child the subject of your video. Because let's say that kid is having a meltdown in the toy aisle. We've all seen it. I've seen kids have a complete and total meltdown in the aisle, and they take it throughout the entire store. It's incredible. That kid's got the best set of lungs I've ever seen. So mom is standing there trying to deal with it. The kid is screaming. You're walking by wearing your smart glasses, and you think, oh, this is going to be hilarious. So now you stop. You look directly at them. You record it. Maybe you put some funny text over it, upload it, and tomorrow that video has 500,000 views. That child didn't agree to that. That parent didn't agree to that. And depending on how young that child is, they might not even understand what agreeing to it would mean. That's where I think protect the children has to become more than something we say whenever it's convenient. Because once that video is online, you don't completely control where it goes anymore. Somebody can share it. Somebody can download it. Somebody can repost it. Somebody can cut 10 seconds out of it and turn it into something completely different. And that 6-year-old who had a really bad afternoon in the toy aisle, they might be 14 one day, they might be 24 someday, and that video can still exist. Now, smart glass manufacturers know there's a privacy question here. Some smart glasses have an indicator light that's supposed to show when the camera is recording, and that's a good thing. And I'm glad it's there. But let's think about that for a second. If I'm standing 3 feet away from you, do I know what that little light means? Maybe. After what happened to me, I sure as hell do now. But does the average person? Does grandma? Does that 6-year-old having the meltdown in the toy aisle? Are we really expecting everybody walking around a grocery store to learn if that particular little light on that particular pair of glasses is blinking, I'm being recorded? That seems like we're putting an awful lot of responsibility on the person being recorded instead of the person doing the recording. And this isn't just something people are wondering about. Schools are already having to figure this out. Some school districts have started restricting smart glasses and other wearable recording devices because of concerns about students being photographed or recorded without knowing it. Think about a school for a minute. Hundreds of kids, bathrooms, locker rooms, classrooms, conversations between 2 students, 3 students, or 4 students, conversations between teachers or with teachers, and now potentially a camera sitting on somebody's face that looks a whole lot like an ordinary pair of glasses. Suddenly, protect the children gets a little more complicated. But I don't think the answer is ban glasses. Because remember Act 1? Those things have legit uses. For somebody with a disability, smart glasses can provide accessibility and independence that the rest of us may never have to think about. Recent reporting has highlighted exactly that concern. That the privacy backlash could overshadow benefits for disabled users. So once again, both sides have some dirt. Maybe that's why the answer isn't banning the technology. Maybe it's teaching people how to use it responsibly. Maybe manufacturers need to keep making it clearer when recording is happening. Meta, for example, says its glasses use a blinking capture light while photos or videos are being recorded, and newer versions are designed to disable the camera if the light is blocked or tampered with. And that's a start, but technology is moving in one direction: smaller, smarter, less noticeable. Today we're talking about glasses. What happens 5 years from now? 10 years from now? What happens when the camera becomes so small that there's no reasonable way for me to know it's there? I don't want to live in a world where every time somebody wearing glasses looks at me, I start wondering, am I being recorded? And I don't think people who wear smart glasses want that either, because then we've taken some pretty amazing technology and turned it into something everybody is suspicious of. Maybe that's the responsibility that comes with owning technology like this. If the people around you can't easily tell what you're doing, you have to be willing to tell them, especially when you're intentionally making that person part of what you're recording. Because whether we're talking about an employee, a stranger, or a child, we keep digging back to the same word: choice. And maybe protecting that choice is how we keep some pretty incredible technology without losing a little bit of respect for each other along the way. So, after all this digging, I think we finally reached the bottom of the hole. And surprisingly, the answer isn't about glasses. It's not even about the camera. It's not about TikTok. It comes down to one word: choice. Because I don't think smart glasses are bad. Actually, after digging into everything they can do, I think they're pretty amazing. They can make things more convenient. They can help people with disabilities. They can capture moments without us spending our entire lives staring through the screen on the phone. Technology is going to keep moving forward, and I don't think the answer is being afraid of it either. But with new technology comes a little responsibility, and maybe our manners just haven't caught up with our technology yet. Because there's a difference between me being in your video and me becoming part of the plot of your video. If I'm walking through the background while you're filming something, I'm eating my hot dog, I'm probably going to survive that. But if you're walking up to me, start asking me questions, have a conversation with me, and you're intentionally making that conversation part of your content, hey, how about give me a choice? That's all I'm asking. Tell me you're recording. Let me decide how I want to participate, or whether I want to participate in it at all. And if I say yes, great, continue recording. If I say no, you have to respect that. Because that's the funny thing about what happened to me. Had the woman simply said, hey, I'm making a TikTok, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? There probably wouldn't even have been a show for us to dig in today. I probably would have answered her questions. I just would have known what I was participating in. And I would have had the opportunity to decide whether I wanted to participate at all. That's it. No banning smart glasses, no smashing them with the shovels. Bob, put the damn shovel down. No pretending cameras are suddenly going to disappear from our lives. They're not. If anything, they're probably going to get smaller. They're probably going to get smarter and harder to notice. Which means maybe we need to get a little better about telling each other when they're being used. And always remember, you may think you're just having fun. You may think you're being savage. But there's one thing we uncovered during this dig. Consequences. If you don't believe me, just look at the DoorDash girl. Sometimes that video you think is going to make somebody else look bad doesn't quite work out that way. So maybe before we hit record, before we hit upload, we ask ourselves, did I give that person a choice? And maybe even more importantly, just because I can do it, should I be doing it? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not telling you what to do. You live your life the way you want to. Heck, I'm just a guy sitting here having coffee with you with a shovel. If you enjoyed digging into this one with me, hit the like button and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments, if somebody wearing smart glasses wanted to record a conversation with you, would you be okay with it as long as they ask first? Because I'm willing to bet we're going to be talking about this technology a lot more in the years ahead. So we've got a lot more digging to do, so let's just keep digging.